How's it going, guys and girls? Hope you guys had a great week. So I'm back today with another video, guys. Now this is kind of sort of an opinions video, first impressions video. I'm sure many of you know, but last weekend there was the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, which was available for early access for those of you that pre-ordered the game from the 4th of October until the 11th of October. And for those of you like myself who have not pre-ordered the game, you could play it from the 6th. Well, Dante and I downloaded it on the Friday, and we pretty much spent most of last weekend playing it, checking it out, seeing what it's all about. And I wanted to give my first impressions, what I generally thought of the beta, what I think about Battlefront 2 going in, what I liked, and especially what my concerns are. So before we get into looking at the shitstorm that is the terrible loot box system, which I will talk about towards the back end of this video, I want to start off, of course, by talking about the positives, right? Because there were some good things about the beta that I really enjoyed. Firstly, let's talk about all the improvements. I really enjoyed the gameplay. I thought the gameplay definitely improved over the first Battlefront game. The new class system is tons of fun. You can play as 4 different classes, so Assault, Heavy, Specialist, and Support Officer class, and I really enjoyed each of those classes. Of course, the Assault class is your sort of go-to beginner stage, but I felt that each of the classes were very distinct. They felt different. They had different weapons available, different abilities available, and you know, they were all incredibly accessible. And I actually found myself picking and choosing between the classes based on what was happening in the match. So I found my choices much more tactically focused than they were in the first game. It was much more about playing an objective. It was a lot more about working with my teammates. Of course, if my teammates are going for an assault or heavy class, then I might want to pick a support class there. Depends as well where you are in the different matches. So in Galactic Assault level, which is kind of like Walker Assault in the original game, there are 3 sort of stages to that, and depending on where you are, it very much influences what kind of class you are. So in the second part of the map, it's much more enclosed, it's more gritty, it's kind of more like firefighting. So I tended to find like crowd control sort of classes like the heavy class and the support classes like the officer class were much more effective in those sort of situations. So I really enjoyed the class system. I thought they were a lot of fun. I do like the new system that they've introduced in terms of getting special vehicles and also the different hero characters that you can use. I hated the token system in the original Battlefront game. I'm so glad that they removed it, and it has had an incredibly positive effect on the game and on the way that players play. You know, with the original game with the tokens, as soon as that hero token became available on the field, everybody just stopped playing the objective. Everybody wanted to be Luke, wanted to be Darth Vader, and they just went straight for that token. But you can now actually earn playing as, you know, a hero character or a vehicle, and you can earn that through playing the objective. So it's not just about the number of kills that you can get. Of course, the more kills you get, the quicker you rack up points, but you don't have to be, you know, one of the top players to be able to sort of have access to that. And sometimes, you know, the hero classes and the different kinds of special characters that you choose, again, are tactically based as well, depending on the situation and the circumstance. I absolutely loved Galactic Assault. I absolutely loved the space starfighter assault, the space battles. Really enjoyed that. I've been waiting for space battles for quite a while, and I just had so much fun playing that map, that level. Really enjoyed it, and I even got to play some of the hero kind of vehicles, particularly Darth Maul's, and it was just so much fun. And yeah, it was great. Really enjoyed that. There's lots of good things to be said for Battlefront 2. There are more maps, there are more playable characters. There's now a single player campaign which is set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and kind of closes the gap between those two movies. Really excited to play the single player, and you know, I loved the gunplay, was as smooth as ever. The weapons were really fun, they felt great, they sounded great, the soundtrack was brilliant, all those things that we come to expect. And now the game is just bigger and better. You know, it's across multiple eras. We now have the drones, we now have clone troopers, as well as the Empire, as well as the Rebels, and of course now we have the Force Awakens era as well to play. So it's just a bigger and better game. It is clear that DICE have really listened to feedback from their fans and have responded in kind, and have definitely put a lot of work in to improve the game. And that definitely needs saying. It does need saying that Battlefront 2 was a lot of fun to play and has got me excited to play the game when it comes out in November. But unfortunately at the moment that is being overshadowed by the god awful loot box system that is in that game. It's so terrible. So the biggest problem that Battlefront 2, and this is not DICE's fault, guys, we have to remember that this is probably EA that have enforced this upon them. This is the greedy corporate bosses at EA that obviously see how much money you can make from microtransactions, and have seen how successful games like Overwatch have been with their loot box system, and they have brought this into Battlefront 2. The biggest frustration with it, I have to say, is it very much is a play to win system. So you have different loot boxes that you can buy with credits that you earn as you sort of play the game and do different kind of achievements and challenges and multiplayer games and that kind of thing. You basically rack up credits, and these credits can be spent on different kinds of loot boxes. Now the loot boxes that we saw, there was Starfighter loot box, a Trooper loot box, and they have said that there are going to be different class-based loot boxes as well. So you'll have your assault class loot box, your specialist, your heavy, your officer class, and if you pick that loot box, it's going to give you a higher percentage chance of getting a star card or a weapon that is particular to that class. So they have kind of confirmed that. The only problem with the loot box system is that it is completely random. It is RNG, and as a result you don't really have a lot of control over what you're going to be getting and how you're going to be developing that character. It is very much down to lady luck, and the only problem with that is sometimes you do tend to find that you get a lot of duplicates. I got a lot of duplicates when I was opening those loot box crates. Sometimes I'd get really annoying emotes, which for like MVP of the game, which I have no interest in whatsoever. So the percentage chance of me getting like legendary star cards to put on my characters, or unlocking particular weapons or particular mods, was actually quite small. There was a lot of crap to wade through before you got better things. So the problem with that is somebody who is a level 1 character or early level character could very well have, through sheer chance and sheer luck, get 3 legendary cards, equip that on their character, and then just absolutely wreck everybody in those games. And that is the massive problem, that it's not tied to progression. It doesn't really feel like something that you earn. As well, when it comes to being awarded credits when you play multiplayer matches, it also doesn't really matter how you perform in that game. If you're at the top of the board and you have like 30 odd kills, and you're at the bottom of the board with like 2 kills, you actually earn the same number of credits, 250 credits per game. So there is no incentive there to really improve the way that you play, improve your gameplay, play sort of team-based tactics, that kind of thing. And that's really frustrating for those people that feel that they should be rewarded for their effort and for how they are playing. The other problem that we have as well is you don't have to buy these loot crates. You can actually craft certain weapons and certain mods as well. But to get these crafting materials, you can get them in one of two ways. Firstly, in loot box crates, and also by completing challenges. Now, these challenges include things like killing 250 enemies with a particular assault rifle, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, if you do that, you only get, in the beta, you would only get like 20 credits. Now, for every mod that you want to do for a particular weapon, each mod costs about 100 crafting parts. If you want to actually like create a weapon, that costs about 600 crafting parts. So if we take into account how long it could take you to earn them, not just through getting them in loot crates, you're looking at playing the game for hundreds and hundreds of hours just to like unlock a scope for your sniper rifle, a better scope, or, you know, unlock a particular weapon that you really want for your character. And that is the problem. That's the biggest problem with the loot box system, is that it's not really tied into progression. It's completely down to RNG, completely down to chance. And in that way, it could become quite addictive for some people, you know, that potential kind of like hope that you're going to get a legendary star card, that you're going to get something really awesome. And for those people that have lots of money, they might choose to just put that into buying, you know, legendary crates, you know, that kind of thing. And it's just really, it's a really, really bad system. It's a really corrupt system. And, you know, it's so terrible and it's so greedy, and you know, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's completely down to chance, and it's just really, really awful. So the loot box system is the biggest problem with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it does have me hugely concerned. Now, of course, there have been loot boxes in other games. There were loot boxes in Overwatch. And there are loot boxes in the Shadow of War, but you don't need these to play the game, to do well and to progress in the game. Loot boxes in Overwatch were pretty much cosmetic. And as well, you know, in Shadow of War, in the loot boxes there, you can get particular weapons or armor or particular legendary, you know, orc captains and lieutenants that you can recruit into your army. You don't have to get the loot boxes to get those things. You can play the game and get them as part of the game. But the problem with Star Wars Battlefront 2 is that you can't do that by playing the game. Of course you can level up your character, and that obviously unlocks the number of star cards that you can have equipped, but you don't get star cards through leveling. You don't get weapons through leveling. I cannot believe that you don't unlock weapons, you don't unlock these star cards, which are very important mods to have on your character to give them a fighting chance or an edge in battle, that you cannot earn those by progressing and playing that game yourself. I think it's just a terrible, terrible system, and I just cannot believe that EA have introduced this. And to be fair, I feel bad for DICE, because it's very clear that they've put a lot of time and a lot of effort into improving Star Wars Battlefront 2, and all that hard work and all that effort that they've put into, and all the really positive sides of the beta are being overshadowed by this terrible loot box crate system that EA have forced upon them. And enough's enough, guys. Enough is enough, EA. Stop this crap happening. Gamers do not want it. It's not something that we want in our games, and get rid of this crap. I will not be buying the game on release, simply because I want to find out what the reviews are saying about the story. I want to find out about this loot box crate system, if they're going to change it, if they're going to switch it up, if we're going to be able to actually level through progression and unlock these things through progression. I'm waiting to see how DICE and how EA responds to all this criticism, and what the game is going to be like when it is released. And it's only a month away, guys, so I cannot see this system because it's so integral. I just can't see it being changed before that release in a month's time. I just really cannot see that happening. But anyway, those were kind of my thoughts. It's just a general tangent on what I thought on Star Wars Battlefront 2. Let me know if you guys have actually played the beta, if you did play it, what you generally thought about it, what you thought about the gameplay if you played it, and what your thoughts are on this whole loot box crate system that they have going. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I hope you guys are having a great week anyway. I'll be back again with more videos. Gonna play a lot of Shadow of War probably tonight and over the weekend. Hopefully get some more of that to you guys, as well as some other videos planned for the future. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye guys.